Welcome back to Remembering Perfection. I was just thinking about and doing, I guess you could say, a little research, just looking up stuff on Google about paradoxes, because it's kind of come to my attention, and I don't know when it was. Honestly, I'm not really big on keeping track of this whole time illusion thing. If I'm being completely honest, it's really kind of irrelevant in a lot of ways. I don't know. Maybe that's not the right thing to say, but maybe we all should take that for what it is and consider: are we taking our past a little too seriously? And buying into the stories that we tell ourselves about the past. Anyway, that's another story, kind of. The definition of a paradox is one of the things that I was looking up, and it's a statement or argument that appears to be self-contradictory or absurd, but may be true or have a nugget of truth at least within it. And the reason why, I guess, I'm so interested, if I haven't said it already, it's kind of funny. Don't even remember what I've just said a few seconds ago. Anyway, that's like everything in our reality, basically, or at least a lot of things, if not everything. Paradox. Like, it shouldn't be the case, but I don't have any examples off the top of my head, so I looked some up, and a couple of the ones that I found that were pretty good made me laugh. Well, I didn't even find this one, but the phrase, I guess I do have one, the phrase, I'm gonna hurt you for your own good. Yeah? You're gonna do something bad for my good. Contradiction, right? Doesn't make sense. It falls apart when you think about it. And something that I'm not probably quoting it very well, but I remember Alan Watts talking about this in one of his lectures. Thank you, Alan Watts. The kind of interesting relationship that you have with your parents, where they essentially say, you must love me, but you must do it willingly. Like making a demand, but saying that you have to be willing to do it at the same time. Something like that. Maybe I'm not getting the quote quite right. If somebody else happens to know it exactly, please enlighten me. But also, another funny one, the liar paradox. This statement is false. Because if it's a true statement, then it's both at the same time. If it's false, the statement is true, right? But if it's true, it's false. It's just one of those things where it's both at the same time. And then I don't even remember ever reading this book, but I remember hearing about it a lot growing up. But the book Catch-22, and that whole phrase, where that came from, it was a book that somebody wrote. I don't remember the gentleman's name. Somebody else will probably know. But I was reading the description of part of the story in which a gentleman is trying to get out of duty for flying into combat by being declared insane, but by doing so, the doctor says, well, listen, only sane people would want to get out of combat. It's the insane ones that would want to fly into combat. So that whole piece where no matter what you do, you can't win, kind of thing, you know, in that instance. It's very funny. I guess it breaks the human brain a little bit, trying to think about it. I think that's part of, like, that's part of the definition as I read it or whatever. It's like, it makes it so it just, it like scrambles your brain essentially. I mean, I'm not saying that's a necessary thing. Something else that comes to mind about it, I don't remember whether it was Plato or Socrates or who, but like, it's kind of funny. I guess he was kind of referring to what it is to be very human, I guess, whatever the case. And somebody will tell me who actually said this, or maybe I'll look it up, who knows. But the mark of a great mind is being able to hold two opposing ideas simultaneously. There's probably more to the quote, but that's the essence of it. I'm not saying that I have a great mind or anything. I don't want you to think that I'm like big up in myself or whatever. Some of these things still break my brain. But it's understanding that more than one thing and opposing things can be true at the same time. And that's like, welcome to reality. He was just talking about this world in general. And the way that you have to be open essentially to everything. Open to seeming contradictions. Or else, you know, you'll constantly be caught polarizing one way or the other. And I guess, man, that brings to mind even more, like, the concept of balance kind of ties in there, but what I also think about is the Buddhist philosophy of the middle way, which, whenever I think about it, you know the yin-yang symbol? Imagine you're shrunk down and just riding that razor's edge of the division between white and black. That's the middle way. Where you can see both sides, but not be attached to either one of them. Which is probably something else, whoever that Greek philosopher, I'm thinking it was a Greek philosopher, Socrates, Plato, somebody like that, was talking about, like, ride the edge, man. Be open to both things and be open to seeing things in both ways, but don't fix yourself on one thing or the other, because that's where you start missing things. You start, like, just largely ignoring or vilifying or whatever else, the opposing side, if you will, or whatever. But anyway, food for thought. As always, I love you guys. Peace and blessings be upon you. And until next time, if you don't do anything else in life, remember who you are. That's the whole point.